Well, good afternoon. It's a little bit late today. I was trying to just Monday. Yeah, it's like everybody else. If it wasn't for the last minute, nothing to get done, right? Got a lot done. I just made a marvelous cream sauce, and I had a properly rotisserie chicken. So what I call deloused it. I took half of it and got the white meat and the meats, and diced it up into nice pieces. Had a beautiful can of sweet peas. Drained out the pea juice, and added that, and chopped up some fresh button mushrooms. Poured that in there. Stirred it all up, and that's something we can put over. Made these bow-tied noodles. They're about some size. So I have a full quart of those already made up, and two or three quarts of spaghetti. Al dente spaghetti. So you can have a bit of spaghetti and pour that on top, or you can put it in a bowl, or you can have the bow ties and pour that on top, and add cheese to make it Alfredo. It's a little tiny bit of pepper on there, not much. Pepper to your choice, but you got to put a little pepper in there because it saturates. Salt mixes, but it doesn't. It doesn't spread out in the sauce like a seasoning. Pepper is more like a seasoning. Salt is something you put in your dishes because let's face it, you're 85% salt water. Essentially your body. If you were to dehydrate yourself, completely, you're about 85% water, and the rest is skin and bones. It'd be freeze-dried skin if you took out all the moisture, but anyway, so since you're 85% salt water, interesting principle about salt, which many people don't know, is that whether water is at the boiling point or just before freezing, the amount of salt that you can dissolve in the water doesn't change by the temperature. So that's an important property, and it's probably one of the reasons why Homo sapiens, people, have salt water in their bodies, because if your bodies are 90 degrees or 98.6 or 103 because you're running around and your body has to, recover this, your body temperature to a lower temperature, because 104 or 5 degree temperature is dangerous for your organs. 106, 7, 8 is potentially deadly. Anyway, that's aside from the point. But the fact that salt is something that doesn't change in concentration by temp. Now, sugar is totally different. You try to mix sugar in ice water, and it takes forever for it to dissolve. But if you have boiling hot water and you put that teaspoon of sugar in there, in 20 seconds it's fully dissolved. And you can really pour a whole bunch of sugar in boiling water, and it'll dissolve very quickly. That's also known as simple syrup. Bartenders make it every day because if one of their cocktails requires a little sweetness, you can't be stirring sugar in there, because you have other ingredients that you want maybe layered in the cocktail. So you add the simple syrup because you make it in a container. 1 part water and 1 part sugar. 2 cups water, 2 cups sugar. It's basically equal parts. And if you use hot water, it's going to dissolve up nicely and be transparent. And then you put it in a container and put it in the refrigerator right away, so that when you're going to use it, it's going to be cold simple syrup, not hot simple syrup. You put hot syrup on pancakes. You put cold simple syrup, in your cocktails. Anyway, so that's the way that works. This is, it's a very newsy day. I go to Flipboard. You remember Flipboard? Let's make sure we can see Flipboard. There's Flipboard. Let's add Jimmy over here in the side pocket. And if we want to expand Flipboard full screen, it'd be easy to do. So I just refreshed it, and we'll see what's going on. Ooh, 150 kilowatt semi-solid state electric battery is breaking the 650 mile range. See, so you have new battery technology that's I don't know if it's commercially viable. I mean, they can make it. Making it's like Elon Musk said, making prototypes is fun. Scaling them to production is not fun. It's hard. But making prototypes is fun, and you can do it. So here's a prototype where a car is getting 650. That's what we need, because when you get a fill up, which costs you $60 or $80 now, $75 to $100 at $4 a gallon, 20 gallons, that's $80. 22-gallon tank, that's $90, round numbers. So if you got a bigger vehicle and a 24-gallon tank, $100 for a fill up. In Washington, D.C., gas is $5 a gallon. California, it's $7 a gallon. This Biden mystery. Yeah, that's why Trump says, as soon as I get in there, drill, baby, drill. Because you're going to have everybody, drilling and producing oil, and the refineries are going to be producing gasoline and diesel fuel and all this stuff. We're going to have more energy than Heinz got pickles. We're going to be an energy surplus. We've got a huge amount of, hydrocarbons under the earth. We've got a lot more than Saudi Arabia has. Matter of fact, for years, Saudi Arabia has not been happy with us because we keep buying a lot of their oil and say, hey, use your oil. What are you going to do? You're going to make us dry and then you're going to start pumping your own? So it's it's like a fist fight on, So drill, baby, drill. And you'll see the futures, the oil and gasoline futures will go down. And you'll be down to $2 gasoline instead of $5 gasoline about a year after he's in office. It'll be a nice ride down on the price of that form of energy, and we'll be an energy surplus. We can sell, whatever we don't feel like keeping and filling up our reserves and all that kind of stuff. We should do all those things, and then sell it in the open market, just like Saudi Arabia does. So we have more oil than any of them. Most Americans don't realize that. We don't produce it because our stupid governments, have so many restrictions on how you have to do it, and environmental. There's limits on environmental to the point where your society is, ceases to. Here's the headline right here. This is headline news. Tesla is going to lay off 10% of its workforce after a dismal quarterly report. So everybody's going to have to go through their workforces and get rid of 10 employees for every 100 they got. And, Tesla's got, 30,000, 40,000 employees. So it'll be hell to pay in Tesla. Tesla plans to lay off 10% of the workforce after dismal quarterly results. Whew. So you can see the headline news coming across on my iPad with this amazing application. And you flip the page. This is called Flipboard, as you see down in the lower right corner. I have these boxes reserved for interesting topics. The box of politics, U.S. elections, Apple TV, Fox News. Let's see the Elon Musk page. There we go. This is a memo that was surreptitiously obtained. Memo Elon Musk sent staff announcing that the company is laying off more than 10% of its workforce. And that's, pretty interesting news, actually. He's got a very serious face on. That's his serious face. He's an interesting character. Review. There we go. We can go take a look at this. Yeah. He added that the cuts will help it become lean, innovative, and hungry for the next growth phase. Yep. That's what they all say. In the meantime, 10% of the workforce is out of work. All right, here's a not so fun story. This is the Tesla Cybertruck. Let's do an expando. There's something goofy with the accelerator pedal, and unintended acceleration. That you don't want, because those electric motors are very, it's almost in the Cybertruck is probably almost 1,000 horsepower, and it's instantaneous when you accelerate. The engine doesn't have to get up to 2,700 RPM, and you clutch it in. Either manual clutch or an automatic clutch with an automatic transmission. It doesn't matter. The engine's got to get up to, if it's a gasoline engine or a diesel engine, it's got to get up to, a certain RPM, or else it's not going to have the horsepower you need to get up and go. But electric, you push down that accelerator pedal and those electrons hit those motors, and the power is close to instantaneous as you can imagine. If you aren't ready for it, it'll throw you back in the seat. You get hit with a G-force or a G.5 force. Acceleration is just dramatic. So, we're reading here that several folks have posted that their upcoming deliveries have been delayed or canceled, according to Investors Business Daily. All right, let's go to this amazing thing about this touchscreen crap. Investors Business Daily had blue type, which means you can touch it and it goes right to that article. And here we are. Others complain that the accelerator pedal is getting stuck. You don't want that, because those motors are very strong. And if they're trying to accelerate and then you hit the brake pedal, you get an irresistible force. Yeah. Last Friday, Tesla cut the subscription price for its full self-driving feature from $200 a month to $100 a month. So at that lower rate, that means if you had your car for 10 years, you'd end up paying that $12,000 price tag for a full. Why anybody would pay $12,000 for that is you're out of their mind, because it's not really working 100% yet. It's still in almost beta. They call it supervised. Now, supervised is you got to keep an eye on it, and every 2 or 3 minutes you better have your hand on the steering wheel, or else it'll stop. It'll slow down, or even pull over to the side of the road. So you've got to have your hands on the wheel, and it knows there are sensors in the steering wheel. Sensors everywhere. In the seat, they got cameras on your face to see if your eyes are closing. I don't think there's any shock treatment to wake you up. But if you fall asleep at the wheel, the car will generally automatically go over to the side of the road and stop. So you're not allowed to sleep and ride. You have to be cognitively aware of what you're doing. Anyway, I've read reports. I've read a number of reports that this version 12.3.4, which means it's, this year's 2024, 3.4, third week, fourth internal revision. They don't release every digit. You won't see 12.3, 12.4, or 12.5. They may have a whole bunch of improvements in an update and go to 12.6 from 12.3. But generally, the second digit is the week of the month. The week. So that would, in theory, go up to 52. So if it's 3, it's the third week of the year. And version 4, 12.34, 12.3.4. Version 12, the third week, and the fourth iteration, 12.3.4. That's the version that they've dropped the price. Right there, you can see it. From $199 a month to $99 a month. See, now $100 a month is, is it worth it? $2 or $3 a day to have full self-driving? So you can put the address in where you want to go, or you can just hold that right button down and say, take me to a place, take me to Starbucks in Boca Raton. Take me to the one on Glades Road. So it'll find a Starbucks on Glades Road. It'll map out a course and take you there. And this full self-driving will take you there. It'll start off, and if you're parked, you may have to unpark yourself. That part of the software they're working on, that's not 100% complete yet. That's why they don't call it beta anymore. They call it supervised. So, which means you have to supervise its operation. Which means keep your hands on the wheel. Watch out what's going on. So in case something goofy happens, you can, hit the brake pedal, hit the steering wheel, do whatever you need to do to avoid a crash. The last thing you want to do is crash your Tesla. But they're real good at avoiding such things. But you got to be careful. So Tesla stock is fell to $171 a share. Fell 2% in Friday's market. I haven't checked it. Let's see if we can check it. Let's do this. Tesla. Tesla stock price. There's a little doodad right there, and there it is. That's last week. Geez. There it is right now. 163. 163. It's going down. That's day trading. Started off at 171 and it's 163. You can see the graph. Let's make it bigger so you can see it bigger. Bingo. You see it? And they have a story. Tesla plans on laying off more than 10% of its workforce. That's never good news. But when sales go down, they've skinnied up on the margins. They're making a profit, and they want to continue to make a profit. You can see a headline over here where it says Quartz headline. Cybertruck sales paused because of an accelerator pedal issue. So they gotta look into that. Tesla scouts for its first showroom in India. Yeah, now you're going to hear trouble at Tesla. You know what? Tesla is, we have to drive one. We're on our second Tesla, Model Y, and it rides beautifully. My God. Oh. Everything that you were, it was a little bit, the first Tesla, we got a, 2021 Tesla, suspension, it's a little hard ride. A $30,000 Toyota Corolla had a better ride than the Tesla Model Y. That shouldn't be. Well, they looked into that. Whereas if you look at the car, and you look at the car 3 years ago, and you look at the car internally, inside, you open the hood or the frunk, because the engines are electric motors. You don't have this big gasoline engine with radiators and oil pumps and all this stuff. You've got these neat electric motors that are, the size of 2 footballs, one in the back and one in the front. And they deliver like 500 or 600 horsepower. There are models where you got two motors in the back and one in the front, a 3-engine configuration. Anyway, they're lightning fast. And now they have, completely engineered the suspension so the ride is really comfortable. There's no jouncing, imperfections in the road. The wheels and the suspension handle it, so it doesn't come up into the cabin, and you're not riding in a Jeep, an Army Jeep. This car has a luxury ride to it now. It's a $50,000 car. It's when we bought the first one, it was a $55,000 car. They've got it down to $50,000, and it's a miracle, I'll tell you. You get 300 miles of range if you need it. For battery health, they want you to use 250 miles of the 300-mile range. So they don't want you to discharge the battery all the way, and they don't want you to fill it up all the way necessarily. You can fill it up all the way. If you're going on a trip and you want to make sure you get the maximum range between fueling locations or whatever, you're in a hurry to get to Alabama or whatever, you can fill it up to, 100% or 98% or something. Even if I was going on a trip, I think I'd, fill it up to 95%. That'd be good enough. And that'll give you 300 miles worth of range. Maybe 290. 290 is enough. So you're not going to get 290 because you're not going to run it down to zero. So let's say you get 290, 80, 70. So you're going to leave 20. So you're going to get 275 miles worth of driving. Well, if you're driving 70 miles an hour, you can see, 4 or 5 hours. Time to get up and walk around. You need a break. You shouldn't be, driving 10 hours in a row. So you get up and you go tinkle. Go to the bathroom, get a cup of coffee, get a Pepsi, whatever your thirst requirements are, and buy a bag of peanuts, whatever, a little bag of popcorn, get back in the car with your wife, your family, your business partner, whatever, and get back on the road and drive another 250 miles. 250 miles is enough. I mean, it's not rocket science, but I'll just do it anyway. 250 miles divided by, let's say, let's just say 65 miles an hour. That's 4 hours of driving. Every 4 hours, you should get out of the car and walk around so that you are alert to protect your body and your equipment, because these cars are valuable, and you don't want to get in an unnecessary accident because you're a little, fatigued, let's say. Let's not say sleepy, because that's a real scary word. Let's just say fatigued. So every 4 hours, you should go get filled up. Here's our Tesla. It's got 213 miles worth of range on it, as you can see. Model Y. And your phone is your key. I don't have my iPad, as a key. I could pair it. I should, just for the hell of it, just so it's a clean image. In fact, I think I will do it. I'll take the iPad down to the car and pair it manually, or just retry, because you can have any number of these. Your iPhone is your key. My iPhone is my key, and in my back pocket, I have the magic. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Let's add. There we go. We'll add that. There we go. Going back and forth. Here, the magic key. That's in my back pocket. I got my business card on one side, and on the other side, right on the surface, is the Tesla card, which I can show you. See, it's black. And the word Tesla right there. Yeah, it folds back in there. This is some kind of silicone material. Hopefully it doesn't rip. There we go. Pull that over there. There we go. It's got a nice glassine window, and it's got a T on the back. It's got a little keychain thing, so when you're going to valet your car, I whip this out of my pocket and lay it on the console between the two seats, and that permits the valet guy to drive the car and pick you up and park the car. If he takes it with him, he just touches it to the column between the windows, and it will lock the car. And then he can bring it back down to the valet station, and he knows that's Jimmy's car. Marilyn's got one of those cards. I have one of those cards. Plus, we have our phones. Your phone is your key. But if your phone runs out of battery, or you lose your phone, you've got the key card in your back pocket, which I call it a valet card. And then the settings of the car, you can restrict the valet operation, like can't go over 30 miles an hour, can't go more than 1.5 miles from, the point where he received the car, so he can't joyride all over the place. There's some restrictions that you can set. We have a service appointment set for next Saturday at 8 a.m. Any messages? Please allow preparation team to look into your concerns. So we'll see. I wrote them the charging. I plug it in our garage. We plug it into the 230 volt service, and it charges and then it stops charging. And it charges and then it stops charging. So the latest software, it just doesn't charge, continuously. It stops and starts and stops and starts. I don't know why it's obviously on purpose. And it takes all night to get the thing charged, where you want it to. So it used to take like 6 hours. Now it takes like 9 hours. So I have a service appointment to find out if there's something, it's a new car. We've got 841 miles on it. Maybe there's something a little, loused up with the software controlling the battery. So they're looking into that situation. Anyway, so that's the car thing, which you can see. You can log in, any Apple device. You can look into your car and see. I can see where it is. I can see where it's parked. I show you. See, here's the location. There it is. You see. You can see exactly where it's parked. Yep. And then you can see below here, where I'm wiggling it, 5-minute wait time, second floor of the garage. There's none available at the moment. There's a 5-minute wait. In Deerfield, there's 2 available out of 8 slots. In West Delray, there's 6 available. There's 16 spots. So, these chargers are getting in Delray, wherever this station is, 7 miles away. There's 18 available units. There are 14 available. That's a lot. Pompano Beach, 0 available. Fort Lauderdale, 0 available. Wow. So they're selling a lot of Teslas, and people are they're charging. And, a lot of people don't live in houses with a garage where you can just, pull up and plug in, like you're setting a sprinkler out on your front lawn. You have your little charging thing, it's pretty nice, you live in a house and do that. It costs you about $450 to have, the 50 amp, 230 volt service with the connector and everything, to get that installed, so you don't have to go too far. It costs you an extra $100 if they got to go an extra 200 feet or something. Because the wire, the cabling has to be, thicker copper to handle the distance that the electrons are traveling. But it's amazing, we've been driving this car 3 or 4 years now, and we're on our second car, on our second 3-year lease. And, no more gas, no more smelly, hands, none of the gas station stuff. There's nothing to service on the car, so you really don't go to the service station for anything. There's no oil filter, there's no radiator, there's no oil fill-ups. It's, I went to the service station one time in 3 years because the 12 volt, I got a warning that my 12 volt, they have a 12 volt battery in there that controls, maybe like the radio, the USB plugs. I'm not sure what the 12 volt, what is energized by that. But, maybe it's the locks, when you push the button and the locks go up or the locks go down, that kind of thing. And the 12 volt battery gets charged just like any battery gets charged, except instead of there being a generator, there's a voltage. The battery is basically throwing out 350 volts to the electric motors and all the control systems regarding powering your car. So my guess is, this was a guess, that they have some voltage reduction tools, and they tap off of 12 volts to keep the battery charged up. And I think they were upgrading the battery from lead acid to lithium ion. You can do that yourself if Tesla hasn't done it already. I know car owners were swapping out the lead acid batteries for lithium ion batteries. Anyway, my battery went. I got battery warning, and I took it into Tesla, and 10 minutes later they replaced the battery, and they said, "You're all set. See you later." No charge, none of this, none of that. It was, of course, in warranty. This is in the 3-year lease period.
It's 1:45.
So, but some, car people that own the cars, they might have replaced the lead acid battery for a lithium ion battery, because they last for 10 or 15 years, where lead acid battery lasts 3 years maybe. And down here in the heat, under the hood, so to speak, you can get 140 degrees, 150 degrees. So that battery, is going through some stress when you park in the sun somewhere. Anyway, other than getting that battery replaced, I haven't done anything to the car. There wasn't any service needed. So that's pretty nice, huh? Anyway, so there's the car. You can always see where the car is. And when it's riding, you can see how fast it's going and what road it's on, so you can see the map. Crazy. There's my service appointment upgrades. So here's, if you want to upgrade whatever about your car, like an extended service agreement or accessories, manage upgrades. Let's see what that means. Okay, so I have a switch on here that allows in-car upgrades, and I have premium connectivity. Renews April. This is like to the internet. So it's always connected to the internet, and they charge like $10 a month. So starting in April, they give you a couple of months, and then they start billing you $10 a month. That's what that is. All right, let's go to software upgrades. This is important. So, if you can buy these self-driving software, $6,000 for an enhanced autopilot, which handles lane changes and that, or $12,000, you can get the full self-driving. Subscribe. Or, look at this. You can get the full self-driving, the total caboose, for $99 a month. So they're basically giving you 10-year financing with no interest. And it's just $100 a month. That's it. And you get the full featured, full self-driving. Now they call it, so you can say add. So let me touch add carefully. So now it's in the cart. And then you can go to checkout. I've done this before. See, and it says here's my credit card, and then it's tax. So I hit that subscribe button, and I got full self-driving starting today. I don't want to do it today. I'm going to start it up on the 21st of the month, because that's when my second Social Security check hits. Yeah, what the heck. So I get like 28, we get like $5,600 a month in Social Security benefits. Okay. So by the 21st, those benefits are deposited in our account. So I figured, well, it's like the third Wednesday of the month, whenever the hell that is. So sometimes it can't be later than the 21st, right? 3 times 7 is 21. So it could be earlier than that. It could be as early as the 14th, right? Because if a Wednesday falls on the 1st of the month and you get paid on the third Wednesday, you would get your money on the 14th. So somewhere between the 14th and the 21st, we get that $5,700. So I'm going to set the full self-driving on the 21st of the month. So that way I'm sure that all my Social Security has been paid in to handle that $100. Yeah, I'm being silly. But the car payment, the lease, I scheduled the lease so that it's due on the 18th, which covers most of the, it's right between, as we get one check on the second Wednesday of the month and the second check on the third Wednesday of the month. So the 18th is right between the two. So then I'm sure I got plenty of cash to pay the $600 a month car lease, which ain't bad for a $50,000 car. It's actually a $52,500 car, but they reduced it to $50,010, something like that. Anyway, when you add, multiply, divide, and add, the lease is $600 a month. So that's tax and everything. It's actually $563 or something, and then you add Florida sales tax, and it brings it up to $600 a month. The actual lease is $560. So that's the automobile. That's the app. See how my blood sugar's doing. There we are. 131. That's good. I mean, it's on this Ozempic. I'm taking Ozempic. And the blood sugar, let me show you. I think I have a picture of, look at this right here. That's a 24-hour period. Look at that. It's, you talk about flat. It's unbelievable. That's Sunday, Monday. Unbelievable. It's my blood glucose. So, since I've been taking Ozempic, I haven't really been using any insulin. Today, let's see. Where's that one I just saw today? Or maybe that was the day before. Here's the day earlier. This is Saturday, Sunday. See, now it's really steady Eddie. There's a bigger view of that. This is the Libre. You see what it says? What's up? Freestyle Libre 3. It's a little thing that's the size of a penny. You pop it on the back of your arm. Every month or every 2 weeks you switch the arms, and it sends. I'm not sure if it sends or your iPhone goes after the results every 5 minutes. So every 5 minutes, it does your blood glucose reading and throws it on the app. At any point in time in the day, you can see it. We can look at it right now. There it is. Bingo, 133. You can't see much else when you're looking at it on a remote terminal like this. Now when you go to the phone, you can look at all the reports and all that stuff. But remotely, I mean, my wife's got the app, and she can see, when a blood glucose alarm goes off, the alarm goes off on her phone also. So she can see that Jimmy's laying face down with his blood glucose at 55. She can hurry up and get home, or call the neighbor and pick me up off the floor and give me a lollipop, something to bring my blood sugar up. I have, as a biochemist I am, I have a little pocket full of these little sound effects. There we go. Ricola. You've heard of that? Ricola. It's a nice little, it's wrapped up. So I keep these in my pocket. And these will increase my glucose, 10 or 15 points just by sucking on one of these. And it's nice. It's, it's air freshening. Helps your breathing. And, I have an emergency inhaler thing. Albuterol. Which, in case, I have any problems with allergy breathing, we feel, oh my God, you get wheezy, and I have almost an asthma. I'm not exactly an asthma patient, but they prescribed this emergency albuterol treatment in case I feel like it's difficult to breathe. You take 2 shots of that, inhaling, and it clears up your breathing in 30 seconds. And it's great relief. And it lasts for 5 or 6 hours. So in case you end up in a zone where you end up with some pollen or something or other, that albuterol really clears it up. Or if you're out playing golf and all of a sudden there's pollen floating around and you happen to breathe it, you can, dilate your bronchial tubes, I think is what's actually happening, so that you're breathing better. So, since we're just floating around here, we've been on the air 55 minutes, so I can talk a little longer. I hit an all-time record and went 2 hours last week sometime. We're not going to do that today, I don't think. We'll see how we yakety-yak. It's 1:58, so you can see a little clock over here, right? This is real time. 1:58 and 16 seconds, 17, 18. This is tuned to the National Bureau of Standards. These clocks are right on the button. You notice there's one up on the, I got one down here and one in the back. Marilyn's iPad, I just flipped around. 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, I mean, to the second, they're within 50 milliseconds of the National Bureau of Standards. So Apple is very, very picky about. I mean, they have a satellite network, so all their devices, watches, whatever, they're all tuned into a standard. Let's get off this watch face and go to watch face. There we go. You can see this watch face: 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 159.20. See? Every Apple device is on the second. So when you look at when you see the time, that's the time. Anyway, so we're on real clear politics over here. It's this little red app. Let's make this full screen. Producers, full screen. Thank you. We have a team of 3 here. It's me, myself, and I. Now you notice right down. You can't see a pointer. You see where it says Tuesday, and then there's a 9, and you go straight down below that. You see real clear politics, red and white. So I have an iPad, so I'm going to touch it. Now we have the app is open, and I'm just going to pull down on it. You see that little twirly whirly? It's updating. Monday, April 15th. That's the day. Empathy was Biden's superpower in 2020. Will it be again? I don't know about superpower. Anything with Biden. That's like a conflict of terms. Let's just go to polls instead of reading these stories, because depending on whether you're a D or an R on who's writing these stories, you get different interpretations. So on Monday, you got the race and topics. New Jersey Senate race. Let's move on down. Kim, whoever Kim is, it's in blue there, so that's a Democrat. So Kim is ahead by 6 points. Biden job approval rating, disapproved by 10. And this is apparently a national poll. Direction of the country, wrong track by 34 points. That's according to Rasmussen. That's a pretty reliable. Now I can touch on that and we can see a little bit more. Let's see a little bit more from Rasmussen. See if there's anything else there. Oh my God. You can see the graphics there. See the red? The jagged, the top red jaggy, that's wrong track. And yep, that's we just went over an hour in my alarm. And the black is wrong track. So the separation is very big. So the RCP, which means the real clear politics average, is the spread, the distance between the two, is 39 points, which is basically huge. And then there are all kinds of, YouGov, Rasmussen, News Nation. There are all different kinds of polling agencies that give this information. This is dating back to, June, let's say. It's actually, it's the whole year, I guess. Anyway, so we'll stay on the top, the top 10 of those. You got USA Today, Yahoo, Harris, Reuters, Rasmussen, New York Times, Wall Street Journal. Wall Street Journal has it at 48 points. You can see there, interviewed 1,500 people on the phone, and 69% of the respondents said wrong track. 21% said right track. You wonder who those people are. Who the hell thinks they're on the right track? Yeah, I mean, jeez. You've got to screw this. I mean, some people are so partisan, no matter what's happening. They just take the partisan, oh yeah, things are marvelous. Meantime they're drowning in debt and they can't buy groceries. Anyway, so that's Real Clear Politics. You can see right track, wrong track. I showed you the history. We're going to go back. And we're going to go down to see any other kinds of, let's see. Texas. Trump versus Biden. Trump is up by 9. Let's touch that poll. I think it'll go somewhere. It does. There it is. I mean, there's so much data that's associated in these applications. If you have the intellectual curiosity to just dig deep, and you can see this stuff. This is the Senate race. Cruz versus Allred. Oh, we know who Allred is. Yeah. I think she's an attorney. I didn't know Allred was competing for Cruz's seat. Anyway, so that's we're not looking at the Senate race. We're looking at the presidential race, and Trump is up by 7, 8, 9, 11, 8, average 8.8. And that's, over a few months. And this is polling data, RCP average, Trump and Biden, the margin, MOE is margin of error. As you look at this, these graphics. Let's see this Cruz Allred thing. So he's up by 7.7. You can see it in red and blue. 46 to 38. Cruz is up 7.7%. This early, November 5th is a long way away. You can see the Marist poll, University of Texas poll, Emerson poll, University of Texas poll. Cruz wins. Cruz is an experienced, you don't want to remove him from office. He's a good senator, and in 2012 he won by 15%. Look at this. If you can see this, I can't expand it. You can see over on the right. 2012 final results. Cruz is up 15.9, 56 to 40. In 2018 election, he won by 2.6, 50.9, 48.3 against O'Rourke. So you get a little historical perspective. Continue. Let's do continue. What could happen? Click below to continue. I'm afraid. Behind door number 2. What do you think that's all about? I don't know where it's going. So we'll get back out of that. Looks too scary. All right, Florida, Trump versus Biden. Trump's up by 13. Holy mackerel. That would be unbelievable. Florida Senate. Senator Scott versus Murkazal. Scott's up by 7. North Carolina, Trump up by 3. California, Biden is up by 23. California, yep, that's a hard blue state. Trump's not going to win that one. North Carolina, Trump up by 2. North Carolina, Quinnipiac, Trump up by 3. That's if Kennedy's in the race with West and Stein. So if there's 1, 2, 3, 4, if there are 5 people in the race, Trump, apparently those candidates take a little bit from what would have gone to Biden. And Trump gets an extra percentage point of winning victory because of those other candidates in the race with Biden and Trump. That's what happens when some of these other candidates get in there that can't win necessarily, but they can. You remember Powell? He jumped in there and what do you call it? Took votes supposedly from the Republican and the Democrat, but a little bit more from the Republican. Just going down the list here, a little speed reading. Look at that general election. Trump 44, Biden 43. This is the General Electric, Trump versus Biden. Now, from my experience, the General Electric polling leans a little bit Democratic. They have a few more Democrats in the sampling percentage. It's not a neutral, a totally neutral poll. It leans a little bit towards the Democrat. So, which means that Biden should be up by 5. But Biden isn't, because Biden's Biden, and Trump is up by 1. But, all things being equal, like last election, in 2020, at this point in the election cycle, Biden would be up by 4 or 5 or 6. But because Biden is Biden and he's got a record now, and his record isn't good, and it isn't as good as what Trump's was, even though Trump had this and these tweets and all his complainers. So what? You don't have to invite him to dinner. He's a hard-ass CEO. So, good. We want a hard-ass CEO in the White House. You shake them up, baby. They need to be, they need to get in the swamp and pull out some of them weeds. And without having a kick-ass CEO, it ain't going to happen. So the installed base of politicians are afraid of Trump because they like everything the way it is, and, they don't want any changes. They've been on the gravy train so long, they're afraid of having to work for a living. Okay, General Electric, this is Thursday, April 4th. It's like last week, 10 days ago. The 4th, this is the 15th, so, 11 days ago. General Electric. This is General Electric. This is all General Electric polling. Trump up by 1, Trump up by 1, Trump up by 8, Trump up by 7, Trump up by 6. The Marquette poll. Trump 50, Biden 50. It's a tie. That's if Kennedy doesn't get in the race. If Kennedy's in the race, Trump's up by 3. Those 2 line items on the top of what I'm jiggling right now. See, it's tie, and then Trump up by 3. Because the difference between these 2 polls is Kennedy, West, and Stein are in there with Biden and Trump. And with those 3 other candidates in there, it spoils it for Biden. Because it pushes Trump to up 3. That's why they call them spoilers. Because they take, these candidates apparently take more points from Biden than it does Trump. It takes them both, because Kennedy takes 14%. So you got 14, 19, 20. So you got 20 or 21 points that are, off of 100, right? So that'd be 10 each. Well, it's not 10 each. It's, 12 for Biden and, only 9 taken away from Trump. So those 3 candidates took 12% away from Biden, because 38 from 50 is 12. So those 3 candidates took 12 away from Biden. And those 3 candidates took 9 away from Trump. That's why Trump is at 41. Trump is at 41 and Biden's at 38. And that means Trump wins by 3. That's what happens when those spoilers get in there. So the Democratic Party is really upset with John F. Kennedy Jr. getting in there and lousing up. I don't think Biden, personally, I don't think Biden has a chance of winning anyway. In some states, they're going to cheat. States where they don't require photo ID, that's a license to cheat. You need a photo ID to get into a library, for God's sakes. You need a photo ID so you can fly fly an airplane. You certainly need a photo ID to vote. It's the most important thing we have in our Constitution is voting. Oh, no, we don't need photo ID. We don't care who they are. Well, we do care who they are. We want to make sure they're not illegals. Hello. There are like 13 million illegals in the country floating around. And we want to make sure that only citizens vote. Even if some of these municipalities will allow illegals to vote in local elections, not in national elections. You must be a citizen. That's the law. So, and the Republicans are going to have lawyers everywhere making sure only citizens vote. Anyway, so that's Real Clear Politics. It is an amazing application. You can download it into your iPad or iPhone. It is free. Polls. There you go. There you are, polls. There's a little menu here. And Biden job approval. Let's look at the job approval. There's a graphic. So you see the line crossed in July. Whoop! All of a sudden, disapproval was higher than approval. So here, right there where it crossed, that's like 50-50. Right? Whoops. Anyway, that was... Then you have stories. Gavin Newsom is getting antsy. You know who that is, right? He's the governor of California, and he's hoping that our current president drops out of the race and Newsom can slip in there as the person that will run against Trump. And that'll be a scary election, in my humble opinion, because Newsom is a slick dude. If you listen to him talking, his state is so screwed up, it's unbelievable. Now, California is completely screwed up. They're spending way much more than they have. You talk about, everything being upside down. He would destroy this country. But he's a slick talker. And there may be enough people that'll buy his politics and just, you know, he's just, look, he's got the hair, he's got that, you know, that photographic charisma and nonsense. Trump's a hard-ass looking guy. He's a hard-ass businessman. There's no other way of saying he's a tough cookie. Show me the numbers or get out. You know, I'm sure he's a real tough cookie in the White House when their cameras aren't around. Newsom, he's a marshmallow. Sure, spend the money. Make them happy, even though we don't have money. Figure it out. Figure it out. So our biggest, just to talk about something a little more serious. Everything is serious. There's no fun conversations anymore. Everything is very serious. But they're really, you know, the thing that's really facing this world is you've got Israel and Iran that are lobbing missiles at each other. And Israel is capable of delivering some very serious munitions into certain parts of Iran that'll really shake them up. You know, and if I were advising Netanyahu, which he's not calling Jimmy, that would be an exciting phone call. Hello, Bibi. You're calling Jimmy? What can I do for you? What do you think if I use some real high power bunker busting munitions and take out their 2 nuclear installations, their nuclear weapon installations? You know what I'd say? Do it. It's the one opportunity you get to knock them out, you know. I mean, they're trying to build a nuclear bomb. Can you imagine these wackos having a nuclear bomb? Talk about it. Oh my God. Ugh. So this is your chance to neutralize that. It'll put them back 5 years. You know, have to dig back, you know. I'm sure they got backups to their backup and all this stuff, but, you know, they'll pretty much have to start from scratch and dig out and create new place. They probably have a place hidden somewhere, but you know about 2 of the nuclear installation facilities that they're working on where they have, you know, hundreds of uranium centrifuges. Take them out. Those aluminum cylinders are hard to come by. And it'll take them quite a while just to get those, another 1,000 of those cylinders, because that's a strategic ingredient in refining this nuclear, you know, because you get the very heavy nuclear metal, and that's where most of the radioactivity is. So you got to get to those centrifuges, because without them they can't refine the nuclear material, which they can then condense into a bomb grade or a nuclear power plant. Either way, they don't need nuclear power because they got enough oil to supply themselves. We would prevent them from selling any of that oil. Anyway, that's what Trump did. He said anyone that buys Iranian oil will not be able to do any business with the United States. You can just take our market share and take it out of your cash flow. So that'll definitely, you know, tantalize for an escalation, but it'll put them back 5 or 6 years. And under Obama and under this, you know, Biden, it's, you know, open door. Go ahead. You know, anything we can do to help you make a nuclear bomb. I mean, really? Yeah, that's going to help, because these Iranians are nuts. Not the regular people. They want this overthrown, but they don't have. You see, they've confiscated all of the guns. So when you confiscate the guns, then only bad guys have guns. The good guys don't have guns. That's what's wrong with that. So, and the bad guys can be in government. So anyway, that's my political theory on that. And with that happy thought, it's 2:24 in the afternoon. I've been talking for an hour and 22 minutes and 9 seconds. Tesla plans to lay off 10% of its workforce after dismal quarterly results. It wasn't that bad. It's the first time that, year over year they had like a 7 or 8% decline in the delivery of the vehicles. Because they don't make them unless they sell them. They don't stack them up on parking lots like Ford and GM used to do. They have 200 cars in each dealership spread all over the United States. Well, those aren't sold cars. That's like inventory. The only inventory Tesla has is just the flow of the ebb and flow of ship, build the cars, ship, build the cars, put them on the trailer, build the cars. So it's just the coming and the going in the production line, because they don't drive off the production line and immediately go onto the trailer. They come off the production line and they put them in they drive them for 15 miles to make sure everything's working, and there are no rattles, no squeaks, no air leaks, no this, no that. And then they put them in a spot. This car's going to Florida, this guy's going to California. So they put them in different spots depending on where they're going. And then they truck them right over. And the car that we just got, made in Austin, Texas. Made in, we got the car in May. It was made in March or April. It's like 1 month off the factory line. Probably less than that. I actually don't know the number. Anyway, so I'm about to talk down here, so anything else you want to talk about, you can call or text. You can see this is a Simulcast, and it's going out live to Facebook Live, YouTube Live, and Twitter Live. Formerly Twitter. And all three of those networks have this broadcast, LIVE. And you can see it right up there. Any questions, comments, or remarks, you can text right into my cell phone, 561-416-1100. No pain, I promise. We're not selling anything, so you don't have to worry about your number being, it won't be exposed or anything. The only purpose in texting is just the exchange of thoughts. Think. See you soon. And then there's a couple of jimmies there with a couple of lightning bolts, which is the end of that message. I changed that to 36-point font, so it's a little more visible on this high-definition screen. You see live TV, 2:28 p.m., Monday afternoon, April 15th, 2024. It's 78 degrees outside, and it's 68.2 degrees in our studio here. This is the temperature in the studio. 50% relative humidity. It's 78.3 outside in downtown Boca Raton. And here's the sunrise picture taken. That's the 15th of April. And look at that. On a hole 7 and 8, you had 4 people tied in the Masters yesterday at -6. And with the ups and the downs and oh my God, the back nine was so hard for Scheffler. He could, he made a birdie and then he'd make a bogey. It was up and down. I mean, his back nine his front nine was so painful. And I looked at Raul and I says, you know what? I think this guy's, he didn't sleep well last night or something, because this ain't looking good for him. And then the back nine, he just bore down and I think went to -10. And Morikawa, he crashed and burned. He went down to like -3 or 4. It was like a 5. They were playing together, playing partners. It was the last tee time. And Morikawa, yeah. He went down to like, the spread was like 6 or 7 strokes by the end of the 18 holes. And they were tied. It's, hole 7 or 8. Oh boy. Fleetwood came up a little bit. Verge, I think he got second place and Homa got third place. So 3 of the 4 stayed up there. Morikawa, he got in the sand trap and he hit the ball and it stayed in the sand trap. Hit the ball out and had the 2 putts, so he ended up with like a double bogey or something. It was terrible. Poor kid, young kid. They're all young kids, they were 27 or 26, 28, all in their 20s. Anyway, I just did a snapshot of the scoreboard on hole 7. Somewhere there's a picture of these guys. Here we go. Yeah, there it is. That's Scheffler. He's at -6. This is the it's par 5. That's the 8th hole. 246 yard away from the. I'm looking at trying to figure out how to read this thing. It must be his second shot on this par 5 on the 8th hole. He's 246 away from the pin, and he's going to hit a 3-iron. I believe that's what that says. So you can see the green up there. Can't see the flag. But he's sizing it up again. He got back. He's looking behind the ball, trying to line up how he's going to shoot that shot. Now he's addressing the ball. Hello, ball. I remember that. Oh, boy. Yep. I don't know, these guys that stand right on this, boy, if he mishits that thing, it's going to take off someone's nose. They don't miss it. These guys have hit 1 million balls, and it's sitting in a beautiful fairway. Look at that. I mean, it's like hitting a carpet. So he's lining up his shot, and this is on the 7th hole. I don't know what happens. I forget what happens. These guys, when you talk to them, they know exactly how he did with the shot. When you're watching the golf, you're seeing they keep switching to different players all over the course, so it's hard to remember who did what. But guy's playing his own game. He's focused on every shot, every hole, and of course they play a lot of matches. It is not easy when all of the best players in the world are trying to win. They're all trying to win. You're trying to win too. But it's not. This Homa and Ludwig Berge, They are really good players. Morikawa is also a very good player. I thought Morikawa was going to beat him, looking at the front nine, because he was like Steady Eddie, and Scheffler was struggling. It seems like every shot was a struggle, and he had a lead and then lost it, and came back to where he was tied with all these other guys. He was at -8 and he had -6 because he bogeyed a hole or two. So it was a tough front nine for him, in my opinion. And I'm not a golf analyst, as you can tell. Anyway, so that's how I got this little panel. Is I just zeroed in and did a print screen, which I could do here, but I'm not going to because I already did it. This is as of the 7th hole. You can see they're all tied at -6, 4 of them. And Scheffler came out on top with, I believe, I think he ended up at -10. I think it was double digits. And he had like a 3 or 4 stroke margin over the next guy. Yeah. So, or a couple of strokes. It wasn't, if you don't sink a putt, you're not going to. Oh, look at this. How about a little slap in the face? Wham! Oh, it's a clear shot. Hit him right smack in the face. You can see the indentation on his side of his face. I mean, it was, what the hell? You guys came right out of the audience and slapped this guy silly. Woo! I'm surprised he didn't go to the ground. I had to capture that little reminder photo for you all. And we'll talk about that young lady later. I showed you my blood sugar. Here's a graph. You can't see it that well unless I give you the. No, I gotta show it on here. Oops, sorry. Wrong device. Producers, come on. Remember me, myself, and I? Well, that was myself. The talent is I. So here's another graph on my Funkin' Waggles for my blood glucose. See here? 94% of the time I'm in the green. And only 6% of the time was I a little bit elevated. But never over 250, which is where you want to be. My A1C, this is the equivalent of A1C, 6.2. It was 11, for God's sakes. One of my blood things says 11. My cardiologist almost had a heart attack. I'm the one that's supposed to have the heart attack. Now look at the way that graph looks. Holy mackerel. This is Ozempic. It is just magical on how it, just flattens out your glucose, and how that behaves. It's amazing. Here's the full Israeli crowd deciding what they're going to do with all these. And you can see all these jets. They're in different places, and of course it's all written in, their language. I have another picture of. There we go. There's Mr. Trump, former President Trump, giving a speech in Pennsylvania yesterday. Grabbed this off the air at 9 p.m. on Saturday. Here's filled up two 5-pound cylinders, which I have underneath my sink to charge my water bottles to make soda. so I can have vodka and soda for my cocktails, my 2 cocktails in the evening. Those are aluminum cylinders. They're light. They have a 5-year shelf life. And then you have to get them they inspect them on the inside to make sure there are no cracks or splits. These cylinders are very good. It takes about 2 weeks for them to, they send them off somewhere to have that work done. Probably costs you $25 or $30 or something, or more. Boom! Boom! There's where I got my cylinders filled up. Keg King in Margate. And it's a place where you get kegs and you put them in refrigerators, and then you have those CO2 cylinders to power the kegs, so you have your faucet and the beer comes out the top through 1 or 2, what do you call them? There we go. Keg King. Yep. It was a good spot. Nice people. Filled up my cylinders, no time. Oops. Now let's sparkle up this picture. Give you a little. So we're gonna turn up the brilliance a little bit. Shadow detail is pretty good. Contrast, we got to turn that up a little bit because it looks a little washed out. Color, add a little color. Now let's get over crop. The walls are like caving in. So see with this app, we can straighten up those columns so they go straight up and down. Right about there is about as good as we can get. Let's go back to, there we go. That looks better. Much better. And we can, let's crop it a little bit. We don't need to see that much of that column. We don't need to see that much of that side of the store either. And we don't care about the parking lot. So let's come right up here to the curb. We'll leave the blue sky, just a little bit of blue sky. There we go. Now we may want to do this again, because we have a different amount of imagery here. Let's work on that column and just come over here. We don't need that column. There we go, that's good. I like it. Now see, we have the roof line that's going drooping down a little bit, so we can square that up a little bit. I'm more interested in the roof line than I am the curb. Come up on the curb a little bit. There we go. So that's pretty good. That looks nice. I'd be proud of that if that was my store. Let's check the color. Yeah, we need to spruce that up a little bit. Let's sharpen. Do a little sharpen. Yeah, that's it. Now that picture looks really good. That's how that works. So that picture has now been, you can unalter it. You can go right back to the way you were. If you say, oh gee, I wish I did X or Y, you can start over. Here's specials with the Keg King. CO2, this and that, blah, 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 different things. Looks like a husband-wife team. They seem, the store is loaded with inventory, so they must be doing well. And, they do 20 or 30 of this. I heard them ordering on the phone. I'm only down to 2. I need to order 20. Can you deliver 20 of these on Monday? Oh, you can't get them here until Tuesday? All right, well. Then give me 24 on Tuesday. So a lot of beer for the masters. Or whatever, A lot of people have these kegerators, in their family rooms or whatever. So, if you like drinking beer, I'm not a big beer guy. I'm a vodka soda guy, so I have a soda machine. I have a soda maker. I got a high pressure CO2 hose going up into an Arca, made in Norway or Sweden or someplace. It energizes, a liter bottle filled up 3/4 of the way with, pure water, cold water, bottled water. And then you pull the lever down and it puts CO2 in the water and makes perfect soda water for your vodka soda. You can add all kinds of flavors after you carbonate. You can't carbonate water that's been flavored. It'll just fizz all over the place. It won't hold the CO2 at all. But if you get the water carbonated, and then you can pour it into a glass, and then add, cherry or black cherry or whatever kind of flavor you want, or Coke syrup. That's how they make Coke syrup. When you have the gun in a bar, or as Coke syrup while the soda water is coming out of the thing. Well, you can add, an ounce and a half of Coke syrup to 8 ounces of carbonated water, and you got Coke. And you can, I had a big box of Coke syrup. I have 2 bottles of it now. But I had a big box. I paid $80 for the box. It was like 2.5 gallons of Coke syrup, which you have to add to carbonated water. So you got to drink a lot of Coke to get rid of 2.5 gallons of the syrup. Oh, Lordy. Yeah. I don't drink that much Coke, but I could make myself a Coke. I have Coke, in the can, in the refrigerator currently, so I don't need to do that. But I could make my own Coca-Cola. I've got 2 quart bottles of Coke syrup. All right, so we basically, I think we're ready to wrap it up. We're an hour and 44 minutes yakking away here. I hope you enjoy my ongoing cut. It's like having a little afternoon with Jimmy here. Talk about all kinds of things. I try to think of a variety of different topics so no one gets totally bored. Yeah. You can see the timer right there. You see this timer right here? An hour and 37 minutes. Yep. That's another timer showing me how much yakety I'm doing here. I hope you like the Epidemic sound, instrumental, royalty-free music that Epidemic permits me to have in the background of our program. And it also is the beginning and the tail of our show. And we're going to go 100% Epidemic. And Jimmy's going to shut up. And I'll speak to you tomorrow.